everyone, I hope you're doing really well. So today's video is very highly requested. As a lot of you know, I was recently on Roaccutane for 8.5 months to help treat and cure my acne, basically. I will leave my Roaccutane playlist down below so you can catch up on all of those. But one of the most popular questions I got asked throughout those 8.5 months was, what foundations did I use and can I recommend whilst on Roaccutane? If you're not familiar with medicine, it's very, very powerful, it's very strong, and it basically strips your body of all oil production. And one of its most common side effects is dry skin all over your face, all over your body, and also your lips. So it's no surprise really that loads of you wanted to know what foundations I liked using and could use whilst on Roaccutane when your skin is at its driest and its most sensitive, and to help cover blemishes and imperfections as well. So I tried an awful lot of foundations. Some of them just didn't work with my skin at all, but some of them were absolutely perfect, and so I wanted to show you those ones today. I have 6 in front of me. I've got a couple which are kind of high coverage, a couple that are light to medium coverage, so there's something here for everyone. And I'm also going to be showing you what those look like on my skin now. Even though my skin isn't as blemished, I think you'll still be able to kind of see the finish and the amount of coverage that it gives. So I really hope you guys find this video helpful. Let's get straight to it. Let's start with light to medium coverage first. This is the L'Oreal Nude Magique Cushion Dewy Glow Foundation, and I hadn't tried this before I went on Roaccutane, but I found it an absolute lifesaver, especially throughout the summer months. This one's super affordable, it's from the high street, and it's just a really nice light, kind of almost like watery foundation with a really nice light coverage. I liked this one a lot because it was so light but also quite moisturising. Like, it really did leave me with a nice kind of dewy, glowing light base. Obviously with all of these foundations, especially the more kind of light coverage ones, I did also wear a concealer on my blemishes to help cover those, because these are great kind of all over, but just for those really tough, stubborn kind of spots and scarring, I did use concealer, and I will talk to you about, I guess, 2 of those that I used in this video as well, a little bonus. But yeah, I really, really liked this, and because it is a very light, watery kind of formula, it didn't cling to any dry patches, which is one of the most important things I found whilst on Roaccutane. You didn't want anything that is going to make the dry skin or your blemishes look even, like, draw more attention to them, and this one didn't do that, so I really recommend this. The second one I want to talk about is this. You might have seen me talking about this in my recent everyday makeup routine because it is the one I've been using recently. It is from Kiehl's, and it's the Actively Correcting and Beautifying BB Cream. I really, really love this because it basically feels just like a really intense moisturiser on the skin, but with a pop of colour as well. The colour range isn't spectacular, I don't think. I've got the shade Fair. It is a tiny bit too dark for me, but perfect in the summer months, and also perfect whilst you're on Roaccutane because it has SPF 50. And if you're on Roaccutane, you know that you cannot suntan or go in the sun or sunbathe or go in sunbeds. Your skin will be very, very sensitive and kind of prone to burning. So the fact that this has SPF 50 in it as well, which you should be wearing every day whilst you're on Roaccutane, is just an added bonus. Because it is a moisturiser with a tint, it is very, very light, doesn't cling to dry patches, but again, I did go around with some extra concealer if I do need it, especially under the eyes and kind of around the nose, normally where you'd get some redness. This is quite pricey for quite a small kind of product, but I do really, really recommend it, especially because of that added SPF 50. My third recommendation is from Bare Minerals, and it is the Complexion Rescue Tinted Hydrating Gel Cream, and I love this. I used this for years before Roaccutane actually, but it wasn't until I was on the medicine that I really appreciated this for its full kind of benefits. It's just a really, really beautiful, light but buildable tinted foundation. But again, like the previous 2, it's very, very light. It doesn't cling to dry patches, almost feels like you're putting moisture, like a moisture boost back into your skin rather than kind of stripping it even more and drying your skin out. There is a great shade range available from Bare Minerals Complexion Rescue, and it has SPF 30, which again is an added bonus. Now moving on to some of the more kind of full coverage foundations. First I'm going to talk about this one. This is the one that I'm wearing today, and I think I discovered it probably about like 5 months into Roaccutane, so my skin was fully dry by that point but starting to clear up. I discovered this and I've absolutely loved it ever since. I will 100% repurchase it. It is the Too Faced Born This Way Undetectable Medium to Full Coverage Foundation. This has just the most beautiful finish. When I apply it to my skin, it kind of just smooths everything out. It kind of airbrushes it. It's very easy to buff and blend into the skin, so it isn't noticeable or cakey. Definitely not cakey, so it won't draw any like attention to your imperfections. I feel like it almost dried to like a matte finish, which is surprising that it didn't look horrendous with all my dry flaky skin. But yeah, I just really like this. I don't know if I'm making any sense about it, but it's probably the highest coverage one that I'm including in this video, and I really, really recommend it. It is quite pricey, but this has lasted me so long now, and it still feels like there's an awful lot in there, so really, really recommend this. I will leave links to all of them in the down bar as well. And then the final two are from Bobbi Brown. First, I'm going to talk about this one. This is the Skin Foundation Stick, and I use the shade Alabaster. It's basically like a big concealer stick but foundation, and I love the coverage of this. I think it's super easy to apply. Kind of just draw some stripes on your face and then buff it in with a brush, and because it is like a concealer stick, it is very high coverage and it does kind of just smooth everything out. It gets rid of redness, and I just really love this. One thing I would say about this one is to make sure you moisturize properly beforehand. Really use an intensive moisturizer and let it sink into your skin before applying this. It will just make it look a whole lot more kind of flawless and natural looking. All of these are very natural looking. I don't like foundations that look very obvious or cakey, and then you especially don't want that when you're on Roaccutane and your skin is super dry. Also, one thing I should have maybe mentioned at the beginning is one of my favourite ways to remove dead skin cells and flaky skin is to get a nice kind of oil based makeup remover, massage that into the skin, and then remove it with either a hot damp flannel or like a cleansing brush. I will leave a link to my Roaccutane skincare video down below as well, so you can see the products that I recommend for this, that they just help even more to create a perfect base. And then the final foundation again is from Bobbi Brown. This is the Long Wear Even Finish Compact Foundation. This is actually my second one of these. I really love it. It's like a more intense high coverage cream foundation that just works really well buffed into the skin. It kind of like the difference when you apply it, you can really see the difference between like a flawless skin and where it hasn't been applied. So I really like this. Again, it can be a tiny bit on the dry side, so make sure you moisturise properly beforehand, but really love and recommend it. And quickly, I wasn't going to talk about these, but I wanted to mention my favourite concealers whilst on Roaccutane has definitely been the Nars Radiant Creamy Concealer. Just an absolute godsend. I have already repurchased this. Oh, just such a nice, thick, creamy concealer that you apply on blemishes and pat in for really kind of natural coverage. And also obviously the Complexion Lasting Perfection Concealer. Oh, can't remember how many of these I've been through recently, but I absolutely love it. It will always be one of my favourite drugstore concealers. I also just wanted to put a little word in here to say that some of my all-time favourite foundations just did not work with my skin whilst on Roaccutane. For example, the Nars All Day Luminous Weightless Foundation. That's like my go-to foundation. Used to wear it every single day, and it just did not work with my skin at all once I had started the medication. Now that I've finished the medicine, I will try that foundation at some point and see how my skin reacts with it now, but there will be foundations that your skin just doesn't work with, and it is really disheartening when they are one of your favourite foundations. But stick in there. You will find products that work for your skin and cover your imperfections and your blemishes nicely without drawing attention to it, and that don't make your skin feel ultra sensitive or bring them up in even more blemishes as well. So it is a case of trial and error. These are the ones that worked for me. They won't be the ones that work for everyone, but hopefully some of them will do for you. So I really hope you enjoyed this video and found it helpful if you're also on Roaccutane and kind of struggling to find foundations that really work for you. Let me know in the comments below if you have found any more products like these as well. I'd love to hear some more recommendations. I'm still using all of these ones now, even though I'm not on Roaccutane anymore, and they're still absolutely amazing. Please be sure to subscribe and thumbs up, and leave me a comment if you have any suggestions of any other videos you would like me to see, and I will see you again next week. Bye!